The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click. The internet is for porn. Welcome to Sexytime.
We touched ourselves last night, pre-flight. Every week we...
Zero.
And I think it's gonna be a sexy time. Yeah. I don't know.
Please clip that for him. I guess I could.
I'm bringing sexy back. You're pretty goddamn sexy, so bringing sexy back. Oh. Zero, thank you for the diamond.
All right.
I'm pumped. I'm sorry.
You did a good job. I like the what's it called? Tights?
Garter belt? The thigh highs?
Oh, it's the those are thigh highs? Oh my.
Yeah, I have a garter belt on. Wait. Let's see if I can do that. Show your lemons. You're going to show me many ice creams.
I will show you many ice creams.
Show me your ice cream. Oh.
Thank you. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
Oh my god. This is a Russian mail order bride. I love it.
I am not mail order bride. I am polyamorous. Any man want to put up with me? I'm Russian polyamorous girl.
This is this isn't that
sexy.
sexy.
Oh, you like the whip. You want, okay. I like the...
Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
So good. Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too. Yugoslavian.
You'd think I was actually drinking, but I'm not.
Well, thank you for those lemon ices. You're pretty goddamn sexy too. Enjoy your dinner.
You're really goddamn sexy.
That's your favorite song. You like the lemon sound, don't you?
Goddamn sexy.
I do. And I'm a masochist, so I made it so people can't spam it, but but I love it.
I think that's a wise choice, BK.
I know. Oh.
That choice is pretty goddamn sexy.
Thank you,
Please,
Coin.
somebody clip BK making that sound.
No. Anyway, but
I think I could clip it.
Ah, crap.
This is right up my alley. As they say in Asia Town, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. Oh, that's what I've heard anyway. And clitoral is more common than the other one, I believe. And so from what I was, from knowing that information, from my vast experience of asking women about their clit and their insides, their vagina. Yes, I always do that. Every first date. Talk to me about your clit and your vagina. I'm sorry. It was there. Instead of, exactly.
Oh,
that's what happened. Spider Josh, Spider Jace, Spider Josh, Spider Jace, does whatever a Spider Jace.
The one in quotes or the
Whatever
whole
you
thing?
want.
The whole thing. I like the whole thing, baby.
All right, the whole thing. Need to poop in that first year together? Dear God, lock the door, turn on the faucet, and pray they don't know you shit. After 5 years or so, need to poop, doors open, lights are on, and someone yells, honey, bring the camera. It's an evolution.
Thank you, Jason Mitchell. You're awesome, dude. You're great, and that's why we made this. We work well together. I'll be happy to do that.
It's true. It's true. And you know what I have to say to what's going on in the chat right now? Oh, Monster J.
Are you in trouble? Are you okay? That's the safe word. Are you okay?
No, she says everybody should just yell Monster J in the bedroom.
Okay, good. Well, I was adopting it as my new safe word.
I'm in my bedroom.
As soon as I hear Monster J now, I'm like, wait a second, alert, safe word been activated.
No, I'm in my bedroom, so I had to yell, oh, Monster J.
I'm in my bedroom too. Monster J.
Do it.
Oh, Monster J.
Yell it.
Oh, Monster J. Oh. Thank you, Monster J.
Somebody needs to clip that.
I love it because the nice thing is it's in Japan, so they might think it's something else.
Join us on our live stream. Right now, we've got some people still hanging out with us who are going to keep hanging out with us. The party doesn't stop when the podcast
stop. So if you want to be part of the party, you can always join us over at dlive.tv/sexytime. If you decide you want to subscribe to our channel, you can also join us afterwards for a no holds barred, very sexy, private conversation where you get to interact with me and BK in video. And it's a really, really fun, amazing time. I was having such a blast last week, and I can't wait to see who's going to be in our pillow talk tonight. In the meantime, don't forget, you can always submit your questions to us at sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's sexytimedlove@gmail.com. You can record a voice memo. You can write it out, whatever you want. We're happy to take your questions. Welcome to Sexy Time.
Did you post us everywhere already?
Yes, hello. Welcome back to Sexy Time.
Hello. That's how it goes, you know?
It was great. That was the first line. It was perfect. Yeah. I did, I think.
You did.
I might have missed one. Let me double check. In the chat, in the channels, yeah.
Did you get the 0 friends?
Of course.
Okay, I always check that one.
Definitely. Well, oh wait, actually, that was the one I did once. Let me do it twice.
Don't forget,
there's
you're
two
a standard
spots.
moderator for this
There's
channel.
two spots.
It's just reminding me to moderate. Hello,
Anyway,
Shirley, Monster J, and Webster Games.
Hello, everybody. Thank
Don't
you for
forget
being
to
here.
put your chat into live chat. Oh, yeah.
I think I didn't do my channel. That's the only one I didn't do. That's kind of funny. Okay. Makes sense.
You know,
I'm lost.
Oh, I've actually got some news. I don't know if you saw it. I did tag you.
I saw it.
It's not good news. Did you see it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was sad. But go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sad too.
Floor is
man.
yours.
Not real. I mean, I don't really want to say much.
Oh, okay.
But you know what I will say is I got in the mail, I'd ordered from, well, I'm not even going to say. So I got in the mail a letter with my name and full address on it from Latvia today. And I freaked out for a minute. Like I even opened it outside my apartment because I was like, who is this and where is this from? And it was like some stupid little thing I'd ordered on eBay and forgotten about. You know, it's like, but like, that's what having a stalker will do to you, man. I start to think people are sending you scary stuff. And I'm like, who knows my address? Where did they find it? How did they get it? I was immediately freaking out.
Monster J's asking what, I think. Good,
Oh,
Monster
yeah.
J, you're listening, not just reading and reading.
So,
I'm glad your work is letting you do that.
Hi, Monster J. It's for the first time since June, I got an email from the stalker. And I'm not happy about that. That's all I'm going to say about it, because, you know, I don't know if he's watching this, and I don't really want to give him fuel or attention. I think that just makes things worse. He was even baiting me. Like, I don't know if this email is going to make you want to sue me or what, but like, it's like, you know, I think he just wants my attention, and I can't give it to him. But it's just so frustrating. It's like a year later after he came to New York to stalk me. It's like, now you're going to try to send me more emails and try to connect with me again. Like, no. So I'll have to contact the assistant DA who was assembling a case for me last year, and just send her this information. That's all I can really do. You know, I'm starting to carry around my flight attendant badge with me everywhere I go now, like even if I'm not working. Because I can't always carry pepper spray around with me when I am working, because it's a TSA violation, right? But I can carry my flight attendant badge with me everywhere all the time. And if I do that, then if something bad happened and he showed up wherever I was in the world, I could just escape. I guess, you know, if I'm further away, I need my passport, but otherwise just my driver's license and my flight attendant badge will get me out wherever I happen to be, as long as I can get to an airport. So that makes me feel a little safer.
Well, yeah.
Upgrade from last year.
So yeah, Master J's in your Discord, right? So
yeah, but you know, not everyone reads the everyone's thing, right? Like sometimes I have channels where I suppress everyone. And you're welcome. I'm eating fun things tonight.
Well, it's not even suppressed too. It's just hard because there's a lot of things, you know. But yeah, it was
This is fun for you sexy people who get here early.
It's sad.
You get my sexy eating.
But it's positive for this community. Not positive.
What's positive?
It's that we are able to still hang out with you, because basically when the whole thing started this way with the stalking incidents and bullshit, that was my main concern, that it may make it not able for you to ever stream again. So
well, that's what made me think about this, was when you said you forgot to post it in your own channel. Guys, I don't know what y'all think about this, but I'm thinking about giving up my channel. I just don't, when there's even the chance that could happen again, or that it could make him think that now I'm okay and he can contact me again or something. I think I'm closer to just abandoning Rabbit Wormhole, you know? Well, as always, everyone here in our community is awesome, so we want what's best for you. I think it's always going to be depending on person and the time of life too, timing. For example, in my instance, like, I am in general a very introverted person and private, and my wife was always concerned, which is why we call her Lady M and stuff like that. We don't, you know, she didn't want certain things getting out like that, and it's something that's just that comes in part and parcel with the internet, and society, because, you know, there's always going to be that. And I think the thing that, one thing that I learned from the 2 years of streaming first was that having that consistency in the beginning, which you always were, you were streaming a lot. You have a lot of people who you've met through this and have seen you from the starts till now as well. And it's the same thing for me. People who saw me, and I still have, you know, there's still those old videos that I have as well on my personal channel, when I started doing it mainly for Best of 5, when I started doing a bunch of things like, you know, Trilogy, everything that I've done, and Sexytime, which is still going strong thanks to you. And it's kind of, it builds, oh, thank you. But it builds like, it builds that community that is the only possible protection for things like this. Because, you know, anywhere you go, whether it be online or real life, there's going to be those outliers craziness, right? Where it's like, you can't really, and if we react to that, personally, if we think we're alone, then yeah, it's going to be difficult. But I think the more people that got to see you who you really are, also who are here to support you as well, like, that's why I'm really grateful to everyone here in Sexytime that can actually support, you know, and
I felt the same way for me, like especially since I haven't been streaming personally for a long time now, that it's like, no, the people who saw me when I was streaming like every day know who I really am, and it's gonna be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there will be that pocket of okayness. You know what I mean? Like, so for example, if something really bad happened to me, I know that I could talk to you. I could go to the Monster J, to Web, and Zero, and all these people that they're like, oh, we know who you are, and yeah, it's like, we know you're not like just gaslighting us with, trying to emphasize your victim feelings on like, oh, I don't feel safe here, and it's gonna be bad. It's like, oh no, that'll help, protect that. And so like, I think that's very important. Like communities like this are so important. So I mean, again, that's the positive where it emphasizes the importance of things like Sexytime, because if not, most of I'd still see you, but most people wouldn't be able to see you. I'd still be like, hey, are you okay? Even though you're not streaming on here or Sexytime, but most people wouldn't even get, you wouldn't even be able to see some of the people in the community who do honestly care and are here, like, and part of that support group and community that actually helps, gives a little comfort with that, because I do think whatever you may do, there's always going to be that weirdness. Unfortunately, you got hit by one that's more extreme than others, because you get like levels
so
of trolls.
Him,
exactly. Yeah. So,
it's like the guy who shot up the Q nightclub last year. I just heard on the news, was on a lot of medications, including medication for schizophrenia. And, you just think about these people in these situations, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes people are really suffering from mental illness, and whether somebody's delusional or schizophrenic or whatever it is that they're going through that makes them think that they should be able to treat you in a certain way or have access to you in a certain way, even after you've said no. There's only so much you can do, right? I mean, I've gone to the police a number of times. I have a piece of paper that says that there's been a crime committed against me by this person, aggravated harassment, but I can't get a restraining order because he's never been arrested and we've never been in a relationship. So what do? What I do is I try to protect myself. I go to therapy. I deal with my complex trauma, of which I have quite a lot from my childhood that this is all bringing up. Thank you very much. Not thank you very much, because I thought I'd processed that all. At least I'd processed it to the point that, I was healthy until someone made me feel unsafe again. But, what are you going to do? Like, I'm here as much as I can be. I'm using a different name. I'm moved. Like, what else can you do? I've done what I've done, and I think it's as much as I can. And if that isn't enough and he's still reaching out, there's a big part of me that thinks maybe I should just shut down my stream. I'm not even sure it'll help. And it's very sad, like before this, actually, I was using my live stream to promote my life coaching business. And now I can't even do that because I don't feel like I can connect my two communities, Also, this guy took advantage of that and did an intro session with me as a coach. So I don't even feel like it's safe for me to put that out there in this way. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But I do feel unsafe.
It's such a difficult balance, and sometimes I think it's timing too. Again, like, because I mean, it's awful because I know how awesome you are. I get to see. I mean, a lot of the people here too got to see you before this shit happened, and it's like, holy crap, that's so freaking awful and destructive. And then there's not much you can do. But I mean, again, it's a difficult balance because a lot of it is like, we talk about a lot of the time here where it's like, you can't let the others influence you as much, but when it comes down to this and safety and physical, it becomes a different ball game. But also there's physical, and then there's like mental, or that there's two sides of that war, and there's the balance. Look, where it's like all, it's hard to,
and that's the thing.
Keep
I'm not
fighting
gonna
both.
lie to you guys. Some of you already know this. I've never been suicidal in my life. But last year when this shit went down and I was afraid to leave my apartment, and I thought, if what I have to do is change my name and move away from the city that I loved so much, I didn't want that life. And I was suicidal for the first time in my life. Again, trigger warning, if anybody is feeling any of that, we've got some numbers down in our about section. down there in the information about this episode. I think there's also, let me look this up. There's 988. If you're in the United States and you just dial 988, it will get you the suicide and crisis hotline that's new. So
and always reach out anyone you can, because you know those numbers are great, because there's some people who really they don't feel comfortable reaching out to anybody, and that's what gets them into that position. But I do know that Alice got reached out to us, and we definitely helped answer the call a little bit. So again, thank you everyone. Like Zero even sent you something. So there's people like that there's always going to be someone there to listen, whether it be someone you don't know or someone that you might not think, but you matter enough to try to reach out and combat some of those demons of the mental fights as well as physical that you have to deal with. I do think it's because it's interesting. They always talk about that with suicides. That like a lot of the times it's like, what the heck? They're such a strong person, or what the heck? They didn't show that at all. And it's very similar with you. If God forbid, I'm glad it didn't happen, but I know that you're so strong.
I just cried
and
for 8 hours and finally called somebody on the phone.
Yeah, I know you're so strong and out there that it's like, and again, like you talked about it, you were advertising your life coaching, which you're amazing at. And
Thank you.
And I think that, again, that exactly, thinking of life coaching, I do think like therapists, life coaches, all those different like counselors, they always have instances where some of the people that they meet through trying to do that line of work gets like a stalker or someone who's obsessed with them, or usually it's like falling in love with the therapist, you know what I mean? So maybe there's got to be something out there where people like you who are strong individuals who, when not being fucked over by crazies, sorry to use that term, but it's like, I know it's a negative term, but it's because my friend is in pain from it, so excuse me for that. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like when those happens, there's got to be some people who go through that constantly, especially the larger the life coach, the larger the counselor, the larger the therapist, they probably deal with those certain things. And so there might be some ways to deal with it. Well, this is on the physical side. Again, the mental side is what you have to do first. Yeah.
If you've got money, in some ways, if you have money and resources, it's a little easier because you can hire outside security. You think, Tony Robbins doesn't have outside security, you're crazy. Like, I'm sure he has some people following him around all the time. But I'm not Taylor Swift level famous. I can't afford to hire like bodyguards and drivers and my own company to like make an AI software to make sure that they recognize. I mean, she actually had to have like a software developed for her that could pick out faces in the crowd in video monitoring software so that she could make sure that her stalkers weren't at her concerts.
I remember, Alice, become the sage.
That sucks.
Because
that sucks.
It can't, like, again, those are the outliers. You're looking at the positives. I mean, but the gift of the thing is, if you come out through this, there's a gift and opportunity where there has to be people who started out small and ran into the same thing and pushed forward and still became maybe not as huge as you're talking about, obviously, because then you get all that money and you can build your security network with your money or whatever it is, right? Or success. But there's got to be ones like, anytime anyone is like a coach, and I'm sure that there are plenty of people
like that who've been hurt in
exactly.
the meantime.
Yeah. But then the opportunity is if you, I think you're an amazing coach. I think you're an amazing person always trying to help. And if you, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying if you do find the path that makes it through by tapping into your sage, I think it's going to be like, you'll become out so much stronger than you ever thought. Like, again, it's like, this is why Star Wars is my favorite, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you strike me down, I'm going to become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. I feel the same way about my channel, since I haven't done it a lot things like that. I think there's a chance for that too. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it depends again on what's going to happen.
That you are trying to get me to see that there could be a good side to this.
It's not now.
Sort of like you're familiar with positive intelligence, which is a method that I use in my coaching, and because I know you personally read the book, right? But I went through that program when I went through the program to learn it myself. right at the beginning of COVID. And as COVID hit, I was going through all this, like, you know, what kind of gift and opportunity can you find in this?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, boy, was it difficult for any of us to find any silver lining in COVID, right? So yeah, it's a Jedi level mastery that you're talking about here, trying to see a silver lining and having a stalker that won't leave you alone ever. But it is there.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
It's focusing. Yeah, I understand that. And I'm saying, again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. Like, I know that. I'm just saying that there's paths that none of us can ever know. And I hope that in the end, something we can all laugh about later. But right now it's shit. But anyway.
Well, I've got a UK bodyguard. That's always nice to know.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Webster.
Oh, speaking of Webster, thank you for the other question. Go ahead.
Before we get there, I left something in the other room. Give me one second.
Go for it. I'll talk to Webster.
Feel
Don't
free to
worry.
vamp. Okay.
I've got the bodyguard in here. We'll be fine. And I will always love you, Webster. And I will always... Anyway, you're the bodyguard, not me. Wait, yeah, I'm supposed to sing. You bodyguard. All right, I did get that right. Anyway, Webster. I've been sick lately, too. I went to the doctor recently. And then, of course, Alice is dealing with a bunch of crap. So... we didn't get to, neither of us got to reconvene on your question, but I think since you're here, I think we will put your question at the top of the list here since you're here already. If you're cool with that. So top of the list, but in that we're going to do it today. Because next week we're going to have a theme. This week is open Q&A. Normally we like to give our questioners a little bit of heads up so that they can make sure they can catch it if they want to. Catch it live as well. But since you're here live already, I might as well do it before we start. So you cool with that, Web? Thank you for the question. I think it lines up perfectly. What's the COVID silver lining? It's very hard to find, but I would have never met any of you. For me personally, again, this might be a negative silver lining for you who wish you never met me. But I would have never met any of you guys and gals if COVID hadn't happened. So
that's true.
For me, it's a silver lining. I can't say that'll make you happier, Monster J. But I hope I do. I hope I make you a little happier.
Oh, I wouldn't have been able to meet. Monster J.
How dare you?
I don't know where friends just came from. I met Monster J. Monster J.
Okay, we'll
by
cut
the
that
way, I was thinking of you, Monster J. Why was I thinking of you? Oh, because remember that, I forget what kind of popcorn we were eating at your place on the show. Was it the Snickers popcorn or something? I found at my local grocery store the Butterfinger popcorn.
Wait, you had that when you were over there, weren't you?
I did. And I didn't realize Koala had sent it to her, and I ate like all of it. It was like special popcorn. So if you need me to send you more special popcorn, Monster J, please let me know.
Oh,
this is my last piece of phallic chocolate tonight, of phallic food tonight. I've got like this fun little chocolate here.
That looks like a knob. A sexy chocolate knob. That's a good nickname. Oh man, or like an online name. I would like to be Sexy Chocolate Knob. It's kind of like Chef's Salty Balls.
You already have a sexy name.
I know.
You're Big Kinky Johnson.
I'll give that one away.
Better than that.
Anyone who wants to take Sexy Chocolate Knob.
Wait a minute.
Take it.
Wait a minute.
Please do.
Wait a minute. That should be your OnlyFans.
What, Sexy Chocolate Knob?
No.
Big Kinky?
Yeah, Big Kinky Johnson.
Oh yeah, we're going Big Kinky all the way. Spending G's. Thank you, Web. I'm your silver lining. I apologize for only being that, but I'm happy to serve, and that's very sweet of you too.
Totally, man.
Say that about me as well as I say for you guys. Yep, you guys. I wouldn't have never met you. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even supposed to be here today if it wasn't for you, for COVID being here. So
that's a good one, BK. I dig it.
None of this would have happened. The Sexytime thing, none of that would have happened. I would have not. I would not met each other like that. I'm sure Alice would have been fine, but
no, you know what? No, probably yes, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
But you know what? I bet I would have been very poor as an old woman.
I see.
And this way,
wow.
I've transitioned to a job that will help me make a better retirement. so that when I'm older, I can have a better life and take care of myself in a different way. Also, this job has opened up for me a different location where I'm based, and I may get property there if I can afford it. We'll see. So I'm spending more time there, and I'm meeting loved ones now there, and so
I'm gonna say the same thing about me. Yeah,
I'll get to visit you. I'll get to visit you.
If I hadn't met, and thank you, Alice. If I hadn't met you, again, this also it just percolated in my thought, in my mind. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Where I'm like, you know what? Same thing for me. I was in a spot when I started streaming, and with the COVID stuff and everything that was going on with the book and everything, I was in a spot where it's like I was close to giving up, right? And so, but through doing that and meeting all you guys and doing all this stuff together, I'm back on the, you know what? I'm building towards my future in the way that in my way, instead of the way that society and probably lessons learned through my family or society back where I was that would like guide me to a place of kind of misery and be probably worse off for my future. So that's true. I like that yeah, I think I'm going to build towards a richer future.
Cheers.
I was getting towards poor, but you guys make me rich. That's all it is. Love you guys.
Oh, I am richer for having known you.
Thank you. That's all I can ask for anyone to ever say to me. So thank you.
And also literally the coin captain, because he helped me get my job.
Yeah. Butterfinger popcorn sounds amazing. What was it? How
really
was it? It is?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, Monster Jason. Wait, oh my God, there's a Butterfinger one? Wait a second. I thought Koala said, oh, yeah, you ate it all. That's why
I ate all of the Snickers one.
Oh, Snickers. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just letting her know there's a Butterfinger one in my local grocery store. So if you need me to pick that up and send it to you, I can do that. If you're like, I didn't get to have the amazing popcorn, please let me know and I will send it to you. Otherwise, if you don't need the popcorn, next time I come to visit you, I will just, as promised, order you that, what was it that we couldn't get? Some kind of chocolate mousse pie. I think that's what it was. It looked amazing, whatever it was. She'll know.
Thank you, Webb. We'll see you. Have a great
Oh, you heading out?
Night.
But wait.
We will answer your question then.
You have a question. Oh, okay. He's already you discussed this.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they know. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, rest well.
Check out the replay.
We're happy to see you.
The last time they were able to check the replay
Webster
too.
Games, sir.
Webster.
We're happy to see you.
Rocking it. Thank you
for being here.
Well, yeah, and I'm happy to be the silver lining. Thank you, Monster J, or part of the silver lining.
Silver lining.
That's a good nickname. That's a good handle to have.
And you've also got a nice gray jacket that goes with your silver lining.
It's like a wabi-sabi. Oh, sorry. That's like Japanese for like things that kind of they respect the use and age of something. Oh, yeah. Right? So
with
like
the gold, right?
Yeah, so or like with anything. Like with wood, if it gets a little like, old and you see those whatever, I don't know, tarnished kind of almost, but like
they put gold in it.
Oh, no, that's different. That's a style, but I think it's based off of I took a lot of Japanese art classes, so like it's talking about like wabi-sabi originated from the source of it is anything that's honoring that's old and they've gotten good use out of it, or just use in general. So anything that's old they kind of remake or keep it like a little bit functional, and it's like it's kind of like saying good work almost. Like it was like, so like people like get worried because it's like, oh no, it's cracked, or oh no, it looks it's been the wood's tarnished or whatever. It's like, oh no, wabi-sabi will be like, no, that makes it even more beautiful because how much it was used, and also like it served a purpose, and now we can kind of renew it a little bit or whatever you want to do with it, right? So like just like silver turns into gray if it's kind of, again, that's what it's like, oh, it's like wabi-sabi, where it's like, yeah, silver lining into gray, because we've been doing this for over 2 years.
Maybe you should just put a silver lining in all of your jackets to remind you that you are the silver lining.
Oh, wow. That'd be freaking badass, actually. That's a pretty damn good thing to do.
Right? Next time you buy, anytime you buy a new jacket from now on, it has to have a silver lining.
I might do it with this one. I'll see. I wouldn't do it because I'm lazy like that. Or actually, my wife is way better at.
Have a tailor put it.
No, my wife loves doing that. I mean, she does sewing. She does all that stuff.
Oh,
so
dude,
like,
then you totally should.
She's saved a lot of my clothes before,
Lucky
but she can adjust. Yeah. Hey, Koala's here.
Koala. Hello, hello, hello.
Perfect timing. We got to start recording, so.
Hello. Oh, maybe Webster Games is actually koala.
Web just left, and then Koala slides right in the seat. I think he was just keeping the seat warm for Koala.
Oh, I like that. It's sort of like at like a blackjack table.
Yeah, right? He was on a heater. He had a question. So Koala, you can bask in the awesomeness that Web was, but you are now it, and we know how sexy you are. You've been with us for a long time, and a newly crowned dungeon master.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that was bright. I was just checking out all of our patrons.
Oh. All right. All right, ready to go?
I'm always ready.
I guess we'll start with the Webs after we say hi, because we do have a question. I'll grab that up. So I'm completely ready then, if I do that.
You're always ready, man.
Always ready.
My awesome friend.
Love you, Alice. You're awesome.
Love you back, man. What would I do without you? I'd be so sad.
I have no idea. I don't know what I'd do without you, but you know what? Luckily, we don't have to think about those things, because we're here, bitches, in the now. Let's fucking go. We don't have a poll, though. Shit, should we do that?
Screw that guy.
Fuck the poll? Fuck the poll?
Poll? I'm not, I mean, I don't know what anybody told you, but I don't fuck polls.
Oh,
What?
okay. Let me see if I can fuck the poll. Engage with your audience. Start a poll.
No, do not cheat. Do not search for things.
I'm not searching. I'm actually, it's the YouTube. I'm just having, let's see.
Don't do it.
I'm one with the force. The force is with me.
How about what's the sexiest
Ooh.
food to eat?
Oh. You have, oh. What, it's like chocolate, oysters? What are you thinking about?
No,
Strawberries?
Well,
Cherries?
yeah, we could put chocolate
Bananas?
on there.
Well, we could do the fruit.
But you could also put like a pickle
Oh, okay. We'll go with that.
or a banana.
Well, definitely
Banana.
Strawberries are pretty good for that. For just the tips.
Strawberries. You could put chocolate, and then we need one more.
Strawberries,
Guys,
bananas,
vote,
chocolate.
tell us what's a sexy food we could put in the poll.
I'm thinking of aphrodisiacs, but you're right. Sexy to eat.
No.
Cherry's not
Sexy
bad,
to, like, watch
but let me
people eat.
think. What
Cherries
else would
are
be?
good.
Got anything
Oh, yeah,
in
because you could
chat?
do the stem and like tie it in that little knot.
Yeah. I
don't
actually
know how to
practice that
do
a lot.
that.
Oh, you don't?
You know how to do that?
Yeah, I do it as much as I can. My wife doesn't that impress though, unfortunately.
Whipped
but
cream.
I'm good at it.
Okay,
Whipped
I'm
cream?
down.
Oh, whipped cream's good. Thank you. We needed something not as more flexible, more I was gonna say white chocolate, but no, whipped cream. There we go. More bendable, adaptable. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Malleable.
Flexible. In bed.
Creamy.
Banana, strawberries, chocolate, whipped cream. Excellent.
Liquid.
Food to eat. What is the sexiest food to eat or sexiest food to eat? There we go. Okay.
Why not?
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Why not? Now you know the magic of how we make polls.
Send us a poll in Discord and help
random
us out. I mean, like, thank you, Web, for the questions. You're fucking amazing. But switch to. Can you make polls too? We're just gonna have to hire Web again. If we're gonna pay him 10 pence for bodyguard. Let's do.
Themes, right?
Oh, that's true.
But
that's true.
sometimes we're doing like a Q&A and it's not a theme like tonight. So.
What am I gonna pick? Oh, I like that one. I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna go with this one. Gonna go with that one. Definitely. Yeah.
All right. Oh, I didn't vote. I guess I need to vote. Oh, I also need to upvote this video. Don't forget to like us.
Oh yeah.
We love you.
Gotta like ourselves.
Oh, I'm torn. We picked too many good things.
So now there's another one that
This is a hard one.
We made this last time. There's a little. We appreciate your Hello Wicked support, y'all. Come again, eh? It's not that sexy, but I like that.
Yet? Oh my gosh, shocking.
No one picked chocolate? Wow.
Oh, Monster
Ooh.
Jazz,
Right
hypermobility. It's koala.
I think right now I'm
Better
the only
hurry
one
up
for
and
one.
find out about that. I'm just saying. Jump on it, girl.
Ooh, hypermobility.
Go get that more flexibility.
And the nice thing is, I mean, that's the great thing. It's not really flexing if it's true. It's not bragging if it's true. So as soon as someone says stuff like that, Master J, it's
Jump on it.
It would be the duty to test that right out and say like, let's see what because I don't know what hypermobility is. It's like if you went into a car and it's the first time it ever had like, what is it, autopilot or something, or like air conditioning. It's like I gotta test to see what this is like. So hypermobility, I've never heard of that.
For a test drive.
Gotta have a test drive. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Let's do a show.
So Koala, test it, and we'll see how good hypermobility is. Let's start in 3, 2, 1. Thank you for being here. Sorry. So stupid.
Welcome to Sexytime, where we answer your questions about sex, relationships, and everything sexy in between. Don't forget, you can send your burning questions by voice or email to sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's sexytime, DLOVE, @gmail.com. Anonymous questions are welcome. Thanks for hooking up with us today. Now, let's cozy up and join our hosts, Aliz and BK Johnsen.
Hey, thank you, Mistress of Ceremonies.
Hello.
Hey there, Alice.
How are you today?
Oh, doing great. It's always a lovely, sexy week whenever I get to see you, Alice, and everybody here in the live stream chat. So, yeah,
my non-working days are completely framed by Sexytime.
Is it
or I
really?
should say my non-flight attendant days. Yeah, I got home yesterday, and so we're doing Sexytime today, and then we do Sexytime next week from the airport. Well, I do anyway.
I know.
Before I start working again.
We should start counting them. How many times have you done the Sexytime from the airport?
Only a couple. I really try to avoid it.
You know. Oh, well, actually, do you mind just jumping right in then? Because that actually lines up perfectly for a segment with our first question from the lovely Webster Games. Because
oh my God, let's do it.
They talked about how a question popped up and it was a lovely email. If any of you want to put it slide into our DMs if you want, or you can send an email and with your questions, and you can be anonymous or not. But Webster Games was awesome enough to want to not make it anonymous. We usually get anonymous, and that's perfectly fine. But this is amazing. We can talk about this. He was talking about our sign off of "Don't get caught in public." So they were thinking, "Hey, this is a good question that keeps coming to mind every time I listen to your sign off." So the UK has one of the largest dogging scenes in all the world, and dogging is one of the most enjoyed activities among Brits. What are your 2 thoughts on dogging as an activity and appropriate locations? I do feel this is something you might be able to help answer and be happy to give some interesting thoughts on, since your sign-off is "Don't get caught in public." Thank you very much, Webster Games, for the lovely question. I had to look this up. So for all of you who aren't from the UK or a Brit, as stated in the question, dogging is... Well, I'll go straight to the internet just to make sure, because I didn't know what it was either. I was like, dogging. Raw dogging?
What
doggy
is
style?
dogging, BK? What we're calling dogging?
Well, dogging is a British English slang term for engaging in sexual acts in a public or semi-public place, or watching others doing so. Watching people in public.
Exhibitionism.
I saw this on Craig Ferguson once. He was doing have you noticed when they talk, they go up and then down? They go for engaging sexual activities in a public or semi-public place. Anyway, sorry. I don't mean to be mean to all you.
That's actually, that reminds me of the
people.
BBC that I listen to in the mornings. Yeah.
Right.
So hey,
think?
what exactly was the question? What's our opinion on it?
It's first off, what are your thoughts on dogging as an activity and appropriate locations?
Oh. Well, it's funny, actually. I was just talking with another flight attendant who's getting ready to go to Miami with his partner. Actually, they should be there already. That was a few days ago. So I hope they're enjoying themselves and having a wonderful time. They're staying in Miami on at a friend's place at right in front of a gay nude beach.
Well, that's an appropriate place.
Right. Speaking of appropriate places. And he was like, he's like, I like it a lot, but it's a little weird when people fuck. And I was like,
Oh.
really? He's like, yeah, sex on the beach is a little strange to see. Like, you're like, oh, those people are fucking. And I was like, really? We just like do it out in the open? And he's like, well, usually they're in the water, but you can tell.
Whoa, in the water.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hard to do too.
It is hard to do,
Sex
right?
in
Because
tubs
you
is
need
tough.
better lube, right?
Yep.
Yeah, water is not good lube, kids.
They came prepared, I hope. So that's good.
So yeah, anyway, that also had me thinking about dogging recently. So I have to say, and I'm not actually making fun of the accent, by the way, I think it's sexy. Just putting that out there. What is my opinion? My opinion is don't get caught. There's a reason that's our slogan. In the United States anyway. I don't know what it's like in the UK over there, but in the United States, if you get caught nude in public in most places, if it's not a nude beach, right? Just even being nude, you can get arrested for indecent exposure. And indecent exposure in and of itself, in most places, is enough to brand you a sexual criminal, whatever you'd call that. I don't want to say predator, but like you end up basically having to register as a sexual predator when you get, like, if you're arrested and actually that charge sticks with you, you end up having to register as a sex offender. That's the word I'm looking for, as a sex offender. And in the States, if you're registered as a sex offender, all your neighbors in most places have to know where you live. Everybody kind of knows that you're a sex offender, but they don't know why you are. And people are afraid of you, and people are afraid to have kids around you. And so it's a really big deal if you get caught in public. So that's like number one.
That's why it's our sign off.
Please be careful.
Yeah.
Like, we love you guys, and we don't want your lives ruined over what seems like it could be a fun time. So that being said, like, know your local laws and gauge, your sexual behavior. There are exhibitionists out in the world who get a big kick, right, out of the danger of it all. And I get that. I totally get that. There are ways to exercise that itch where you're definitely not going to get caught, like sex parties, where people are vetted, like play parties where sex is allowed. Maybe that, like festivals, right? There are festivals where it's a little bit more acceptable, where people have sex more often. I recently heard about the orgy dome at Burning Man.
Wow.
Yeah, there are places
that
you
sounds
can
fantastic.
go to exercise this itch, if that's a thing you like to do. There are clubs, fetish clubs. There are all kinds of things where you can go to places where you can watch people having sex, and you can be watched having sex. And I recommend all of those things above and beyond just like a random park or something where you might get arrested.
Yes.
That said, if you're going to cross that line, my recommendation is to make sure you find a place that's secluded-ish, right? Where you're not expecting people necessarily to walk by. Go at maybe a time of day where you're not expecting somebody to see you. But also, with all of that said, be aware of your surroundings, because you don't want to go to a dark, secluded place at night where there's high crime.
Yeah.
Right. So just, if you're going to try this sort of thing, if you're able to plan in advance, scope out where you think it might be fun. It might be fun for you and your partner to go and scope out a place together, and see what's possible. Maybe try a little like light making out and heavy petting or something before you go all the way, and just see what's possible.
What's the first spot that comes to your mind? Like, it would be a appropriate place, or a thing that not appropriate, but like we're talking about, safe, and maybe like, start.
Like,
I'm just curious.
A beach with some dunes, or like a park with some trees and benches, or look, heck, you could go as far as like a cemetery,
I was thinking
right?
beach, yeah.
You could go anywhere, but in a pool, if it's secluded.
For one, you gave me plenty. It's fine.
Look, there are lots. Like you hear about people having sex in churches.
Well, it's also going to be.
You can go as far.
And again,
I heard about a
check
friend
how bad it would be for
at the
laws.
back of a Walmart by the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people have sex in bathrooms, right? Bars and stuff. That's a thing.
But each area is going to be different. That is the point, where it's like, this place has different laws. This place has, this beach might not be good for it, but this beach is, because my first thought was a beach, because beaches, certain beaches,
it's kind of frowned upon with nude beaches, because those are supposed to be like places for nudists to feel comfortable. But it's probably more acceptable at a nude beach than it would be at a regular beach, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it should be like, it's just like, it's going to come natural with the territory, I'm sure, and of course it'll depend on the local customs of that nude beach or that community or wherever it is over there, where it's like, no, we really are fighting against that, or it's like, oh yeah, we know what happens because it's going to happen in a nude beach. So like, there's going to be some nude beaches with that attitude. There's going to be some nude beaches where it's like, no, you will be immediately punished, So again, check that out. It's going to be awesome. Like, preparation will be great. It was interesting though, because my first thought too is, since I've never heard the term dogging before, I had to look it up, and this is based on Google. Dogging.
So cute. I like to think about going over the UK and doing some dogging.
It's a sexy accent. It's true. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, what's that guy's name?
I think that was a little Australian, but I liked it.
Well, I'm just trying to copy that guy from Transporter. I can't remember his name, but
I don't know what that is.
It's a movie. He's in a bunch of movies. But anyway, you mentioned the time of day, like not expecting people to see you, or certain places where I'm like, I had a question. Is dogging like, because it did say here, I'll look at it again because I was looking at it, engaging in sexual acts in public or semi-public place, or watching others do so, or a term for engaging in public sex while others are watching. So do people have to be watching? Like, is it like the purpose?
Well, it sounds like exhibitionism, right? Which is also like, people should be watching. Look, this goes all the way back to biblical times, right? We had that she wasn't having sex, but Bathsheba, right? Like naked on the rooftop, and David saw her, and it caused some problems, right?
Yeah.
He like had her husband killed.
Yeah, so he could have her.
Right? That causes some problems. Again, my recommendation is be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your local laws, and do some sexy planning around trying to make sure you don't get caught, because maybe that's part of the fun, right? I like planning. I think planning is sexy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun again, and we're very sex positive and want everyone to have great sex. So, but that's why we don't get caught in public, because we know in America that will be very bad for the long term. So we want you to continue being able to enjoy your sex as long as possible without the laws getting in the way. So it's like, if the law says no, we don't want you to get caught in public, so it would be difficult. But I mean, for other things that came up when you're talking about it, I love the orgy dome, because it does keep it where it's like, oh no, we expect it. Like, I was like, orgy dome sounds great, because it's like, just if you don't want to see it, you don't go in the dome. It's going to be fine. It's all like, we already setting that boundary.
But if you want to see a whole lot of people having sex, that's the place to do it.
Go to the orgy dome. It's a perfect name, where it's like, oh wait, I went to the orgy dome. Wait, why are they having sex here? It's like, well, you kind of should have figured it out. It's called the orgy dome.
Maybe you should have known that.
Yeah. And so for me, the main thing, I agree with everything you're saying, Alice, and there's plenty of suggestions. The first time, like, for me, that I was doing it, but it wasn't to get caught, or like, it wasn't so people could see, but it was like late at night on a very secluded section of the beach. So that would be like my experience with something that's close to dogging in the public. That's probably or like a friend's apartment, but that wasn't public. It was still private. But anyway,
my.
But
yeah, right. There's one, sex at a party.
Yeah,
right? You go off in a room.
Have you ever seen the TV show Frasier?
Yeah.
There was an episode where he was trying
Kelsey
to.
Grammer.
Yeah, there was a woman who was asking for help, but she was obsessed with like maybe getting caught by accident would turn her on. So, or like being caught by someone. So like he was talking to her, counseling her, and all of a sudden he's like, wait a second, I can see what she's doing here. He's like, she called, her husband got out of jail right that day, and she might get caught with like, making out with her therapist. And also like but then he got away from it. So she's like, no, wait, oh no. And then all of a sudden like he gets out by like using the fire alarm, but then she's turned on because the firemen might come and catch her having sex with somebody. So like, again, it was kind of like a kink or a fetish, but it's kind of like this, where it's like, I need someone to have that danger or someone to see, right? So again,
right. And in which case, like you could, if it's something like that, you could even arrange to be cuckolded in a sense, right? Like, or maybe just surprised in the sense, right? Like maybe you could get the permission of your partner that it would be okay to be like, have somebody walk in on you, right? Yeah. And then you could find somebody online. This is a thing. You can look for people with this kink, right? Who are willing to cuck you, right? In the sense of like walking in on you doing the thing. And
now, cuck is interesting because cuck has to be someone like closely
right,
or
it's
something.
A little different.
But, like,
it's
this
like
one's
the
like
husband.
Yeah,
yes,
like
this is different.
It's more just excitement that someone might walk in or interrupt, or like all of a sudden you're kind of having to perform for somebody by accident. You could
give you like your key to a willing friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And be like, hey, could you just walk in at random times because we really enjoy this, amazing.
Right? If you really, if that was your kink, that's perfect. Also, again, I'm glad you mentioned Bathsheba and David, because I was just like, it's
been around a long time.
Well, my first thought wasn't about that at all. It was about for the kids, where it's like, there's a lot of talk of sexual education, what age, what's, parents, how much involvement are they going to have, and what's going on with society's ideas about that. And that's what I thought of first. It's like, my only concern is first off, that you don't get arrested because your local laws and all that, and you're not going to ruin your life by accident by trying to engage in these things. But also the effect it might have on people who, if you're doing it in that public place, if there's places where kids are there, it's like, dude, like that's terrible. Yeah. So and then when you mentioned the Bible with Bathsheba and David, I'm like, no, that was a grown freaking man, and he still got fucked up by seeing that and did some terrible things. So like, imagine what it would do for kids. So that's what I would say. Those two things, local laws and kids, are the things I'm worried about. Yeah.
Yeah. Also with kids, like, you don't want to have sex like on your balcony if there's like a huge building near you that has probably a bunch of families in it, right? Like the kids might be watching. Like it's just not the thing. Let them discover it on porn.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So yeah, it's because then they actually have to make that choice to search it out. It's not like it just gets thrown in their face. But yeah, so that's what I would say as the last to that question, Webster Games, that those are the two things I think is most concerning. And again, I actually agree, like the first thoughts were beach. I mean, like cars always nice because you can get away real quick, like in a car.
Sure. But you don't, like, not necessarily if the cop catches you, right? Like that's a problem. Yeah. So you don't want to, like go to the bowling alley and have sex, right? Like I think it's maybe a common sense thing. Like if you're going to have sex in the bar, probably go to the bathroom to do it. Don't do it like on the bar, in front of the bartender. You're probably going to get arrested. Like, I wouldn't do it like on the street or in an alley even, because then you're probably not safe. Again, that's the other thing to really think about when you're thinking about this. It's not just will you get caught, it's could somebody walk in on you in a vulnerable position and take advantage of that at that time. Like you don't want to put yourself in a dangerous position where you could get mugged or something, right? Because your pants are down, like literally. So think about that. Oh, we've got somebody in our chat saying did it in a movie theater. We were the only ones in there. See, that's pretty hot. You could have gotten caught, but being that you were the only ones in there, unless the projectionist
and it's still public. Yeah, the projectionist might have saw something, which is nice. They have to be they have to be hopefully an adult, or at least within the age. Because again, because I'm leaning towards maybe dogging someone is supposed to see you. It sounds like maybe. Again, if someone is in the UK or knows of this term more specifically, let us know, because we're just going on what Google said. So who knows how accurate that's going to be, but I'm not sure if that's required. I mean, like, that was one of my first thoughts of movie theater too. That's like a natural one. Definitely had a lot of play in movie theaters. I'm not sure about like full on sex for that.
I think like even
be,
as kids, there was like the marching band bus. Like people are fooling around everywhere all the time, some way, shape, or form. Just I would say
go to a college dorm room.
Try not to make too many people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself in trouble. And don't get mugged, right? Like, you know.
Co-ed college dorm would be interesting. Just go in with your partner, go to a co-ed college dorm room and give them some free
if you're
show.
In college, don't do that.
I know.
Like, I just want to be very clear, because when we went to college, BK, and now things are very different.
Oh, they are?
And
okay.
Yes.
That's too bad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
I have a delivery. But Title IX is a real thing. You got to be careful.
We'll think about colleges, I'll think about colleges and boobs while we figure out. Thank you in chat for getting some things in my mind. Like, I'm going to think of showers, movie theaters, boobs, and people walking in on me. And being young, dumb, and full of cum. But yeah, this is perfect timing to actually talk about the poll too. If you're wondering, on the podcast, we do live stream this. So youtube.com/Sexytime podcast to come over here and see us live at the same time. Or you can check the replay because we keep those up. We have a poll for our people who are awesome enough or have the availability to see us live. Here's the poll. What is the sexiest food to eat? Very simple, straightforward. And I would like to, again, we're very multinational here. Our podcast listeners, there's a lot of actually Filipinos, so I'd be curious. Would it be lumpia instead? But anyway, what is the sexiest food to eat? Bananas, strawberries, chocolate, or whipped cream? We will announce those at the end of the show, who comes up on top. And if you do miss it, if you join our Patreon at patreon.com/Sexytime podcast, we have our private Discord where we do keep tabs of past polls. So if you do miss what the results are on the podcast, or if we forget, come on over to our Patreon, become a Patreon, join the private Discord, and check out the poll results. Check out the pulse of the community. But yeah, I would like to sometime also think of what would be maybe the Japanese version of this. Would it be sushi roll? Would it be tuna? Would it be, or again, since I know we have a lot of Filipino listeners on the podcast, would it be lumpia? That's pretty sexy. Pancit is kind of, it's not hard. I'm trying to think of what Filipino foods might go in there. But Filipinos love bananas too. So,
they have those long sesame sticks that are sweet.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
And you've had lumpia before, haven't you?
I don't know. We've discussed this.
Oh, we have. You're right. Sorry, I was in the all-knowing Filipino thing. Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's like a spring roll, so it's it's got a. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know why. Right now, I'm thinking in a fountain would be a really sexy place to have sex.
Oh.
I'm still stuck on it. But again,
it's like the end of The Hangover. They think they had sex in the fountain in Vegas and in the Hangover pictures. I think.
Oh, did they? I don't remember.
Something like that. Maybe they had sex everywhere in The Hangover. So I don't know. They went all over Vegas.
Yeah, I do think if it's legal, it's probably better. Just to be safe. If you can go to a party or something where everybody who wants to see you having sex is seeing you having sex, not people who don't. Right? That's the only trick.
Mm-hmm. But thank you again, Webster Games. That was a great question. Mm-hmm. I loved it. And don't get caught in public, especially by your local laws. But if it's gonna be fine, we're flexible. Dog away.
At least Monster J is, hey, this is a great time to say thank you to our Patreons. And right now, our current Patreons are our Dungeon Masters. We got Mark, we got Koala, we got Shirley, and Linz and John. Thank you guys for subbing as our Dungeon Masters and Mistresses. We're very, very grateful to have you all on board. And of course, we do have a few other patrons, and we are very grateful for you as well. 100%. Thank you for all being here. We love you guys.
Come on, join the party. It's a great group, very supportive, very loving, very sex positive. Patreon.com/Sexytime podcast. Oh yeah.
I love our pillow talks, man.
Yeah. I mean,
good.
It's so nice. Anyway. Let's go to the
if you're
questions.
Just joining us for one of the first times, Pillow Talk, just so you know, is our lovely little private sesh after our show where we have a nice little Discord conversation, and it's very private, and we're very clear that what happens in Pillow Talk stays in Pillow Talk. So if you ever want to join us for that, you just want to go to patreon.com/sexytime. Is it just /Sexytime? I always forget.
It's Sexytime Podcast.
Nope, Sexytime Podcast. Yep. Okay, there we go. And that is how you get to us. We would love to have you.
Come on over. Anyway. Come hither.
You want another question?
I do. I'm obsessed with questions.
Okay, I have a very interesting question.
I'll try to give as many answers as possible. Yes, no, maybe so.
This is from a user who's experimenting with Molly.
Oh. I never met her.
Again, we're back on local laws.
Yes.
But let's try to see if we can answer this one. Whenever I take Molly, which I love to do, I have this strange urge to be with a man sexually. I'm actually a lesbian in my regular life. But sometimes I also watch gay porn. Could I be somehow bisexual? Does Molly uncover this in me? I'm not sure what's going on.
So it's only when they're doing Molly they have these?
Well, she says she also watches gay porn, and I'm assuming she means she watches men on men porn.
Okay, what's the situation before that? I think I missed that part. Sorry. So Molly? I got the Molly and I got the gay
So
gay
usually
porn.
She's a lesbian.
Yes.
But whenever she's on Molly, she has this urge to have sex with a guy.
Okay, yeah.
And also sometimes she watches gay porn.
And she's okay. So I was like, oh wait, gay porn, wouldn't that be counterintuitive?
Sorry, I forgot to mention this is coming from a 25-year-old female.
Okay. Interesting. Let me look up. Without having to look up, do you know what's the deal with Molly? I look it up. It's Molly Ringwald.
Molly
no, not her.
/MDMA makes you very uninhibited.
Okay.
And you tend to be more sensual. People on Molly tend to want to touch each other more, share stories. It's a very lovey kind of drug.
Okay. Now, it depends also, are you sure you're, again, with that, okay, so for what, let me think of something similar. I've never taken Molly, aka MDMA, or it's like ecstasy, right? Type of thing? Right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So I've never done that yet. And the same reason I didn't do it is something that I would want to mention too, is that I actually contemplated it. Because I was going out for raving with friends back in the high school days or college days, and I was contemplating it. But every time I talked about it with others, they've had some hit and miss, right? Because ecstasy, it's hard to see when you're buying it from when you're buying any substance that's not legal or regulated, you have to really trust the drug dealers. You don't know what you're really getting sometimes, right? So again, since it is a legal issue, I would be very careful with that. Who knows if that's going to be the same type of thing you get every time you get Molly, depending on what they're giving you, right? So it could be something like that, and that's always a possibility. But back to your situation. Well, first off, if you're sure you're only gay, is bisexual not a possibility too? And also,
well, that's what she's asking,
right? And she's
saying, is it possible she could be bi?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you my closest experience to something like this. It wasn't having to do with bisexual or homosexuality, but I know one of the first times I really got wasted on alcohol. My friend had to take me aside because we were in this big party together. And he was like, dude, you're hitting on my sister so bad. But to me, I remember it. I wasn't like wasted where I don't remember anything. But I remember I was like, no, I'm just really happy because I'm a generally happy drunk. So maybe I was like, hugging people more, even guys. Like I was like, no, I was hugging you and hugging the other guy friends too. And, I'm sorry if I was, aggressive with your sister there. It wasn't like that. So it even could be something like that where it's you might have just that love. It explodes into that like almost love or feeling in you when you get under the influence of certain things. That's a possibility too. But if it's actually, you're very sure you're gay and not bisexual, and it's bringing that out of you, or it's doing that, I don't think there's many people who have like fantasies with like porn and other things that are actually nothing to do with who they are sexually, right? They kind of just have this fetish or fantasy that they don't really ever engage in real life. It's a fantasy thing that they can get off on and enjoy without ever actually doing it in physically, right? With someone of that type. So I would say there's many possibilities here. It really does depend on yourself. But since you're 25 years old, I'm not sure on that age if it's still a time where you're going to discover something new about yourself, or if you're dead set, how much time and effort you've put into like saying, no, this is definitely me or not. So I think a lot of it is the ball is in your court. The nice thing is that this is all mental and in your head. So all you have to do is the answer comes from within. You're going to be able to do some soul searching, really feel yourself, love yourself, and accept who you are, and try to understand that. And don't be let down if you find out, oh wait, I am really just only homosexual, so I should stop taking Molly or whatever it is. It's like, oh, but don't get let down by whatever it is, because you're basically discovering yourself, and that's the most important part, is to find the real you and what makes you happy. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I love everybody in our chats like, go out and try it.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, 100%. Like, here's the thing, right? You might, being that sexuality is a spectrum, right? Maybe you're 5% bi. Maybe you're 30% bi. Maybe you're completely bi and you just had no idea until this moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it sounds like you've had a really good time being with women up till now. And there's a curiosity here for you to be with men. There's a curiosity. So what I would say is, if you want to explore that curiosity, 100%, just make sure that your partners are down for that you have like mutual agreements. If you are seeing anyone, that they're fine with you stepping out of that relationship to experiment. If you're single, because we don't have this information, but if you're single, nothing's stopping you. My recommendation for you is to make sure you put it out there that this is a thing for you that you are experimenting with. Don't get me wrong. I imagine you will have people lined up for the experiment, because it's like every guy's fantasy to be with a lesbian, right? And you probably don't want those guys actually who just want to, I don't know, break you in or whatever you want to call it. I'd
like to be with a lesbian, but I'd just like to be with anybody, so it's okay.
Well, I don't know how Lady M feels about that.
It's part of my charm,
Yeah. But yeah, I would just say, look for somebody who, maybe you don't want to put it out there on like a dating app that you're a lesbian and that you're looking to experiment. Maybe if you're looking on a dating app, you might just want to say you're not looking for anything serious. You're just looking, to play around for a bit. That might be a good opportunity for you just to experiment a little bit sexually. And then when you're on the date with the person, if you feel like there's somebody you're attracted to, somebody like you maybe feel like you could trust in that way, to experiment with them, then you could let them know what's really going on for you. I maybe wouldn't put it on a dating app, because you'll probably get people who are like fetishizing the whole thing. So that's my recommendation for you. Roll it out a little bit slowly, but obviously tell them before you have sex with them, like, hey, this is what's going on. So they're not like expecting that no matter what happens, that it's going to be great, right? Like they'll know that you're just trying it out.
Yep.
You may or may not like it. There may or may not be a second date, and that's okay. And that's okay for everybody, but especially for you, being that you're not sure if you're even into men, it might be good for them to know that up front, so that they aren't shocked if you're like, oh my God, I can't with the penis. I'm sorry, I thought I could. Right? And I'm going to give you the same advice that I gave myself when I went skydiving. Always give yourself permission to say no. Right? Even if it's at the last minute, you're making out, you're having heavy petting, things are going great, you guys go down on each other, things feel good, and then the dick comes out and you're just like, nope, this is not what I want. I give you 100% permission to say no at any time. Honor yourself, take care of yourself, but enjoy the experiment. You might have a good time. If there's any, I will say, if there's any like trauma wrapped up, because I know that there are some lesbians who have trauma wrapped up when it comes to dicks and penises and that sort of thing. Just want to say, like, be kind to yourself. You need to talk to a therapist while you're going through this. Go for it. Just play.
I'm not a lesbian, and I have trauma with dicks and penises. So as long as it's other dicks and penises, mine's fine. But I don't really need to see a lot of other dicks and penises. It's just me,
You might just enjoy it once and decide, like, I don't really need this anymore. Or you might have a man who ends up being your partner for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, either way, again, I agree with you completely in the fact that the main thing that's coming through in my mind is, be careful of the self-judge. Thank you for this question, but be careful of that. Whatever happens, again, don't be like, oh, I should have never fucking done that, or I regret this and all this stuff. It's like, oh, no. It's fine. You, as a lot of people in chat were saying, is like, you won't know until you try something. It's like you can always try to. There's a certain point where it's like, okay, you're thinking about it so much that you don't really know until you try. So don't be so down on yourself if it doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to be, and don't think it's like world ending. Just again, stay sexy and safe. Keep it safe. Set your boundaries correctly. Take it slowly. Again, like as Alice is saying, roll into it. Don't be like, I'm just going to do that and get it over with. So I'm like, oh, that was awful because I didn't, don't take it flippantly like that. And don't be so hard on yourself. However, whatever happens. And you'll be finding yourself.
I just realized how funny it is that we're saying roll into it, because they say when you're on Molly, they say you're rolling. So that's actually very funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was punny and
was rolling.
That's what they say, you're rolling on Molly.
Really? I remember like watching the movie Friday with Chris Tucker, and I always liked that quote when like, I'm telling you, we were just rolling, and I thought it was like marijuana, but it's because in the movie it's X. Yeah. It's actually X usually. Oh, interesting. Cool.
Rolling is Molly. Yeah.
Jargon. Street slang, baby. We're from the streets.
It's a thing.
All right. Here's another story. It was the story. Question has here's another question. There's story in it.
Well, and actually, there's a moment to just say thank you for all of you who've sent in questions. Inviting more questions in always, because we do love your stories, and we're grateful that you're willing to share them all with us. So thank you.
Dogging stories. No, wait. This isn't a dogging story. This is about erotica stories. So, I've recently started writing two or three erotica stories. They're so fun to write because they're catering. I'm doing it catering to me alone. No one else is going to read these, so I can build them to be exactly what I want in every way. Every kink, every position, every scenario. Nothing holds me back, and I can basically bring back my favorite fantasies to life in a way. Have you ever thought about writing your own eroticas, or do you know anybody who does that just for themselves or public? And what do you think about writing erotica in general? Thank you for your question.
I do know somebody dearly whose life is being lit up right now. Yeah, I know in my real life, I know, not that this isn't, but I know an author who is a great author who has been, and I don't know the name of this website, I'm so sorry, or I could recommend it. But I do know a writer who is dabbling in this online forum where they've been sharing their erotica that they're just starting to write for the first time. This person's like later in life and just starting to write erotica, and man, are they ever happy. They're getting totally lit up by all of this, and they're getting a lot of feedback actually from some other writers that they admire on this forum, and they're so happy and just like really having a wonderful fucking time about it. So I'm hearing from you that you're really enjoying the fact that you don't have anybody reading it, and that's cool. That's a totally different way to look at it. I know someone else who wrote a really wonderful pandemic erotica kind of story, and she started experimenting with erotica as a writer, but then also putting it into performance art, and that just really lit her up too. I think some people use erotica as a means to process some things that they've been through in their lives. Sometimes people use erotica to process their own fantasies, process their own kinks, things they've never given themselves permission to do, like you listener are saying. And I think that's fucking badass, man. Like, good for you. Super happy for you that you're finding this outlet. And I just want to encourage you that if it's something you might think about taking public, if you still want to be anonymous about it, you can always use a pen name. Or you keep it to yourself, whatever makes you happy. But there are so many forums that you could share this on, I'm sure. I'm sure the one my friend is using is not the only one. And yeah, like I think we hide too much of ourselves for way too long, just out of this fear of judgment. And I just want to applaud you for stepping outside of the box and trying a thing that you've been curious about and leaning in and playing with your kinks, man. Good for you. I got nothing else to say. That's great.
All I want to say first thing I want to say is thank you so much for this question, because it's inspiring to try out. I mean, I am an author, but I never was thinking of doing the erotica style, and also thinking of just when I write, it's usually I'm writing and thinking of hoping it will be published, right, and publicizing it. But I love this idea of like, you know, writing sorts of things that I know is never going to get published before I start writing it, right? And I do think that it's perfect that the more you do it, eventually there might be some parts where you can edit. I mean, I've done a lot of editing too lately too. So it's like you can edit out parts that you don't want in there, and then you can publish it after that. So it's like at some point, if you were doing this for yourself, which is the best way to do it first, that it's helping you explore or all these things with your fantasies or imagination, and then you actually have a thing from it. You can even just edit parts out that you don't want to include, and then you can do that. Or some of them you might like say, you know what, I'm going to start writing. I have like my time to write the sexy stuff that I know I'm never going to show to anybody. But now I'm going to say like, okay, here's something exploring that I want to write for, and then I don't mind if this gets published. And again, you can do that and put it under pen name. There's so many possibilities that I love that you brought this type of question instead of just saying writing erotica in general, where it's like, oh no, writing erotica only for yourself. I'm like, oh yeah, but we all change, we all grow, and I love that idea. So I think I've never done it. I would say it's almost like taking a sex journal, or like, again, it's a fun way to do that and write in a way that you know you're only writing for yourself, like a journal for yourself in the beginning, right? And I do think there's possibilities, but if you always keep it private, that's great too. I think it's perfect, right? Either way. I would be curious if anyone, we might talk about this in Pillow Talk, because I'd be curious if anyone in chat or anyone who wants to share also has tried doing that. And if not, let's all try it. Like, it's almost like a book club. Let's all write a erotic thing only for ourselves. We don't have to go into the details of that, but how did it go? Did it work for you? Are you getting, are you helping explore your own fantasies or sexuality more through that? That's pretty fucking badass. So yeah, I would say I love it. I, again, don't need a self-judge on that. And I do think just by bringing that to our attention, by asking this question, it might inspire others to try something like that. And who knows where that goes? It could start with writing and then go into real life, or not at all. It's all up to each personal preference. And it's great about, again, it's a perfect question for sex positivity. Keep that going. Love yourselves, guys. Just for you.
All right. Trying to think of how, I think this is one we can both tackle pretty well. All right. I've been with my girlfriend for about 6 months. Wait, is that right? Am I reading this right? Oh, no. No, I'm not reading this right. Oh, a year. Sorry. They've been together for a year. This is a little confusing the way this is worded. Sorry.
Been together for a year.
Anyway, we've been together for a year, and right now we never have sex. My girlfriend is withholding sex to make me prove that I love her.
Oh, wow.
Right now, maybe we have sex twice a month.
At least she's honest.
I feel scared to have sex with her because whenever I bring up that I want more sex, she says that I only want sex and not her.
Oh, wow.
I've only brought this conversation up twice the entire year we've been together, once each 6 months. I bloody love this woman. And I show her every single day. I always put in effort, and I always to make sure that we have a good relationship. But she's convinced that sex is not that important and that relationships should be fine without it. So tonight I tried to make a move and instantly got shut down. And I asked her if we could please talk about it. And instead, she instigated the no sex rule.
What the heck is this? What's the no sex rule?
And I cannot ask when it will be over, because then that'll prove to her that I'm only interested in sex. So right now, we're operating under this rule that we are not having sex.
Wow. This is insane. This is where gaming goes wrong. Go ahead, keep going.
I love her more than anyone, but this is obnoxious and frustrated. And I've never had a sexual relationship with anybody that felt healthy. And I feel crazy. My ex didn't want to have sex or be intimate at all. And the ex before her was only sexual on her own terms sometimes, but was extremely religious and would make me feel terrible afterwards because of her guilt.
Wow.
Nobody has ever made me orgasm or even tried to, and I feel unloved. What can I do? Can you give me some advice?
Oh, that's okay. Well, okay. There's a couple things. The ending broke my heart there because I was really getting into a mode there, saying, "What are these sex rules?" Wait, one question though, Alice. Is it a lesbian relationship, or is this because no one made them orgasm?
Unfortunately, this person doesn't say. Yeah, I know.
This is they've been together for a year. Okay,
they've been together for a year.
Because it's weird to have sex with the exes. No one has made, so 2 exes were mentioned, so that's 3 at least partners, and no one's made them orgasm and they feel unloved. So I was like, well, is this?
That's right.
Because that's weird to not orgasm once out of 3 different.
That's right.
So, okay, first off.
So maybe it's but we don't know. We don't know.
The question, thank you so much. First, I have to couch it this way because I think it's, again, it broke my heart at the end saying the orgasm part and that you're unloved that you feel unloved. But I do think the positive of it is how much love you have in your heart from what you're telling me. And also still, so, you really love this girl, as you were saying, she's so amazing. And most people would love to be able to feel that way about someone, right? And love to find someone like that. So that's great. And I'm not saying, and so I'm couching this in that, it's all positive vibes on that end. But when you're talking about everything else, there's got to be some balance to the force. So excuse me if I jump into using a little bit of the force. It may sound like dark side, but it's not. I'm just trying to look and see as an objective person trying to listen to this. So again, there was a couple things flashing in my mind hearing these questions, hearing the details of it. In the beginning, before you even mentioned the exes, I was like, wait, this sounds like possible like pedestaling or having a hero complex where it's like you're doing everything for them and they're doing nothing for you. And it's like all, and from your past exes, it kind of goes into that where it's like your ex before that didn't want to have sex or be intimate. The ex after that or before, wherever it was only sexual on their terms and they were extremely religious. And then you had to, you know, couch the guilt right after that. So you're basically always being the hero in this situation where you tend to feel good from that, right? And instead of actually being almost even, where I thought of pedestaling again, where it's like she's perfect and but there's all these problems and she has these things that I disagree with, and it's like, oh well, is she really that perfect on a pedestal, or is it really, it should be, you know, a healthy relationship's going to be like, no, you're both going to have goods and bads, positive, negatives, and you work together to try to find the happy medium and work together to be happy together, right? In different ways, whether it be sexually or romantically or whatever. So it sounds like a lot of the focus all the time is not sexual. And from your question, sex, of course, we will say that sex is important here on Sexy Time. And you're saying almost like, okay, a problem with my partner is that she thinks sex is not important, but you obviously do. Because you're asking about this, and relationships are fine without it. That might be a deal breaker right there. And again, it's the way you can get down these paths is either pedestaling somebody or having the hero complex that you're going to save every relationship because you like them about everything else about them. But this one thing that's very important to you that you completely disagree on, you're just going to ignore that because they're so perfect in any other way. So again, it doesn't mean it's a deal breaker where you have to break up, but that's a deal breaker where you really have to have a lot of talks about this and say, we need to get closer on the same page here. If she's adamant on that and you're adamant on the other way, that you want to have some pleasure and feel loved, which is very important, and you have every right to believe that and feel that way, then yeah, you need to have a serious talk about that, and it might become a deal breaker. It's interesting how there's like rules set up and stuff too, where again, I wouldn't hold it against these people, your exes or the current partner. But again, and it sounds harsh, but again, if there was a bit of a pattern in your questions with exes. So a lot of the times when it's like, oh, I can't find a good partner because it's always like this, and they're always similar, where it's like, well, you're the only common denominator. Something in you is picking these types of people that have this,
controlling aspect,
controlling, maybe? Or not more caring about being a romantic than sex at all. Like they don't want any sex. Because again, one ex didn't want sex at all, only wanted intimacy and no sex. And it's like, okay. And then the other one was guilty from sex. And this one is saying there's no sex rules. And she's very playing some games in an interesting way of, you only want me for sex, even though you're trying to say everything is not that way. So yeah, controlling might be things, but again, I do think it's part of working on that and setting yourself up for future, or even with this one, if you can find that middle ground and break down these things, it could still be possible since you're saying they're so great. I wouldn't lean towards that being the case, but maybe not. I don't know. So, but I would say again, work on those things and setting those, be honest with yourself, with what you need with your partner. Because if you're always getting in these relationships that are making you miserable in the end or making you frustrated like this, you need to be able to make sure that in the future or in this one, get those boundaries set and talk to them and figure this out. That some place you can meet on that, because it's very important. And it's obviously important to you. It may not be important to them. They might be asexual. Who knows? But for you, it's important. So you need to get on some sort of understanding there.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a tough
BK. I honestly, for me, this would be a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you saying it's maybe not there yet, but for me, I mean, it would be a deal breaker. It would have been a deal breaker for me 6 months ago. You know, I think it's very important, and we talk about this a lot, for people to prioritize their libidos and their sexual needs. Now, like if you're in a relationship for a long time, those things change, right? Sometimes, you know, somebody gets pregnant or somebody's hormones change, or somebody, you know, has an accident, and again, their physical chemicals change. They're not working out as much. They're, I don't know, going through a tough time at work, whatever. Like things just happen, and sometimes your libido rises or drops, right? It happens. But when you're starting out in a relationship, like if there's that big of a mismatch where it's like literally, it's not just about your libido, but it's about your values. And it's not like, you know, look, if you have a friend who values sex very highly and you don't, well, that's not a deal breaker because you're not having sex. But this is your sexual partner. This is, as far as I know from the question, the only person you get to have sex with. So it's important that in this particular matter, your values align. And if they don't, you're not a match. Like y'all, please prioritize your sexual, like your sexual needs, like prioritize your sexual values when you're going into relationships with people. If you have a high libido, or if you know that you value sex on a regular basis, if you're like, you know what, I'm my best self when I'm having sex 3 times a week, somebody who is at their best self when they're having sex once a year is not for you. Unless you're poly and you can, and they can, you can not have sex with them, and you can have lots of sex with other people. Like if you are in a monogamous relationship, which it sounds like, listener, you are, this is the only person you get to have sex with. So it's very important that you guys match in terms of your values again on how often you want to have sex, and in maybe in what way you want to have sex. If somebody is like super BDSM and you're like super vanilla, that might not be a match either, right? Like look at the person that you're dating next, because I'm just going to be honest about this. This is not going to last. This woman is manipulating you. Your partner is it sounds like she has veto power over everything in your relationship, and that is not okay. At least about the sexual part of your relationship, she is completely controlling this relationship and completely controlling you. And I really do think you need to step out. I think it's not good for you now, and it's going to be even worse for you in the long run. We have seen good friends deal with manipulative partners who have broken their heart and who have made their lives a living hell for like many years. You're not that far into it. I know it's hard and it sounds like you love your partner, but it sounds also like you've done everything. And if you're asking for my permission, I give you permission to walk out, because it's not serving you, and it's not serving her either. She needs to find somebody who can be happy with sex once or twice a month, and that's okay for them. You need to prioritize what you need in life and find somebody who can meet you halfway. And look, again, there are going to be ups and downs. I'm not saying that if somebody's libido changes that you should just up and leave them, but it sounds to me like this is a very clear and powerful values mismatch, and you need to be honest with yourself about that. So when you go with your next partner, when you're looking for your next partner, make sure you are clear and upfront with them about your values when it comes to sex and what you want and what you're looking for. And if you don't match, find someone else.
I love it. I mean, like, again, because they were gushing so much about them that I'm like, oh, I'm going to give them a light thing. And there's always a little bit of hope, but I totally agree with Alice, where it's like, oh, I don't think this is good for you at all. And it's not good for her because it is encouraging that type of game playing or manipulative, if you want to call it that, behaviors, where it's like, oh, yeah, it's encouraging that you can still have someone who loves you as much as you love her. Even though, despite them doing that. I did see one thing in chat that was really a great question, or an add-on to this. What if you set boundaries? Because we're talking about values and boundaries a lot. What if you set boundaries and they agree, but then they end up breaking the boundary? Was kind of the question. And I was thinking about that. That was a great point, where it's just like the ups and downs of libido. There's certain things that it's like a curveball you don't see coming, because sometimes it's going to be that. Sometimes it's like their nature, and they like that part of them, right? So for example, if it's something like a libido up and down, where we set the boundaries or values that we want to have in the relationship, and then our libido, something crazy happens, and then our libido changes, and we can't really meet those expectations or boundaries or values or whatever we want to call it, right? Well, at that point, you have to be, like, it's like 50-50, where it's like, for me, it comes down to like responsibility. Is it someone who wants to say like, no, I'm going to always do that. You're just going to have to roll with these punches, and sorry, it's going to be on you, or it's going to be half on me. And that's in my relationship with my wife. That's why I am still with her and I'm happy with my marriage, because if whenever she lies or breaks a boundary, if I do that too, we both are very good at like saying, this is where, I'm going to take responsibility. I said I wanted to do this. We tried it. It didn't work out. Or, I said I'd do this and I dropped the ball. But again, like she would not just dig me down deeper, and I wouldn't dig her down deeper saying, this is 100% your fault. You're a liar for setting that boundary. No, we want to get better together. And that's what keeps us together. And we want to know each other as we go through those ups and downs. That's what I would say in those instances. But if you have someone, it goes both ways. If you have someone who pushes you down more when you actually tried to meet your boundary or value and then you failed, that's probably not a good thing. Or if you, again, like try to push it off on them too much, where they're trying and they keep failing, but you're not understanding that they're trying to get better by setting these boundaries and values, but you keep pushing them down, or whatever it is, you're not working together and trying to get better at setting boundaries and values together. That would be a problem. But other than that, I mean, it's like normal relationships at that point. Like if Alice always lied to me, or she never shows up to these sexy times, it would be like something different where I'm like, oh yeah, if she's always saying, no, you're just too demanding, BK, that's why I'm not showing up. It's like, oh, well, this might not work out. But if you're like, oh no, this happened, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then it goes both ways. If I fuck up and drop a ball somewhere, if I'm not showing up or if I'm doing something, it's like, no, that's how the relationship works. So it becomes, a relationship, any relationship, you can think of it that way for boundaries, not just romantic.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Chat.
And I would just add, I think there are points in our lives where we develop blind spots because we really love somebody. And we've been with them maybe for a little while, and we keep telling ourselves that the person's going to change because we love them and we want them to change.
Mm-hmm.
But chances are, unless you put your foot down, that person's not going to change. And you're not going to know whether that person would have changed unless you insist on it. And so that's what I feel like this particular listener who's asked this question, needs to say to his girlfriend, like, listen, I think we've got a values mismatch here. There's a problem, and here's my problem, and here's what's going on. And if you can't be okay with us talking about this on a regular basis, and you can't be okay with having some more sex, it's not that sex is more important to me than you. It's that I need sex in my romantic relationships and I'm not getting enough of it. And if you're not okay with hearing that, and you're not okay with, adjusting a bit for me, I think this is the wrong relationship for me. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long to realize that. I want
to record this so we can practice this, because that's a great way of saying that, because it's like that happens all the time.
And if you're willing to talk with me about this, and if we're willing to work this out, and we can, get it to where I'm not the one who's initiating all the time, and I don't feel afraid to talk to you about this, then maybe we can move forward. But otherwise, no, and if there's some kind of deadline you need to set, like, hey, unless this changes by this time, like, I'm out the door, because I can't live the rest of my life waiting for you to change this thing if you're not willing to change. And I respect you too much to do that, because I think you're wonderful. And if you don't want to change, then you should find somebody who works better with what you need.
Go, Alice, go.
And so should I,
The fear is the love killer.
If you're with each other that time, the truth is you love each other enough to know that you need what you need. And if one person needs something different than the other person needs, you guys need to let each other go so you can get what you need. But again, you're not going to know that unless you sit down with them and say, like, hey, this is it. If this thing doesn't change by May 1st, I got to leave, because you deserve somebody who can deal with this. And I'm not that person for you. And I deserve this, and you're not that person for me, even though you're fucking awesome.
So good. I want to clip this forever. We're going to do this. I learned so much from just hearing that, and also not taking notes word by word, but for myself as well. Like it helped me understand some of my boundaries, where it's like one of the things that really kills me in all relationships, romantically and non, is when someone's scared to talk to me about something. And that's what you were saying. Like, it's like, oh, I want to talk to you about it. But if you're feeling scared to actually open up and talk about things, that is always a really kind of like a red flag boundary for me, where it's like, it's hard for me to build a good relationship or a close relationship with someone. That's why I said fear is the love killer. I was like, just like, where it's like the opposite of love. It's like, it's so true, where if they're scared to talk to me, how can they possibly, how can I get in a good relationship with them, whether it be any type of relationship?
That's so sad.
So it's like,
I'm so sorry, listener, that you've gotten to a place where you're even afraid to bring this up. That's so sad. I'm really sorry. Happens to all of us.
Yep.
You're not alone. It really does. We've all been in that relationship. Right?
Yeah. Like I said, I was like, clip this because we can use this over and over. I mean, not we, but I would use that phraseology over and over again, because it's like, oh yeah, we all have gone through these types of things, and that was a perfect way to give it a chance. So like what you were saying there really gives it another chance to say, like, I want to open up now. If not, I don't think we're good for each other, is basically what you're saying in a quick, short way. But the way you were saying it was like really opening my eyes and my heart. And I liked it a lot. So thank you, Alice.
And look, maybe that's a solution for them too, opening up, right? Like maybe they can open up and he can go have more sex with other people, but something tells me she's not going to be down for that.
Yeah, there's that old phraseology I've heard from like comedians saying, don't stick your dick in crazy. I mean, I'm thinking of a man right now. For me personally, that was an old phraseology, but like, it's like, but there's a reason why, quote unquote, people who are wild and that,
I hate that
almost
phrase.
Like manipulation or whatever it's talking about. No, but like where it's like, if you can actually open up and you find out it's like, oh, it's not as bad, it's just really tough, and then you finally opened up, that sex is usually mind blowing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why it's tempting to, as they say, stick your dick in crazy, where it's like that sex can be so fucking raw and passionate, but it's not good in the long term, which is why they say it. And if you're not opening up to get there, this is what you're going to get. So you need to kind of open up and see, and it could work out okay. I don't think it will. Again, both of me and Alice are on the same page. I'm like, from your last couple of relationships, it sounds like you're catching the same type of fish over and over, because you're putting the same kind of type of lures out, which is you. So work on yourself and know what you really want, so you're not going to be getting full of regret and anger over not being able to find a relationship that makes you happy as much as you're making them happy. So
yeah, we don't talk about values nearly enough. Like it's really important to be open with yourself and make a list of the things you value in life and the things you value in a partner. What really pisses you off? Well, the opposite of that is something you value.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
if it really pisses you off when your girlfriend withholds sex, well, probably you value sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Sounds
and that's
so easy,
okay.
but it's hard.
It's okay. Like whatever the world has told you, it is okay to value sex highly. That's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay to value lollipops highly. Just don't develop diabetes, right? Like as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, it is okay to value just about anything, including dogging, but don't get caught.
Yeah, yeah. But it's great to have lollipops. Just don't shove lollipops down everybody's throat and say you need to like lollipops as much as me. It's like, what's going on with that? Or like, you need to care about this way the exact same way as me. It's like, no,
you don't love me because
sex.
You like lollipops too much.
Oh, don't get me started. But we're out of time. Thank you so much for the questions today. We're on fire and in chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
We're going to close the poll on the live stream. Again, if you want to see that, go to youtube.com/Sexytime podcast to come on and check out our replays or see us live. Or you can also become a Patreon at patreon.com/Sexytime podcast, where we post the poll results so you can see the records there on our private Discord. So thank you for all our Patreons again and our YouTube subscribers. Please subscribe. We're looking for subscribers on YouTube. We're getting closer on watch hours, but we do need to, we're lagging behind on subscribers. So please subscribe to YouTube it's just a click. Support that.
Oh, yeah.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Follow us on the YouTubes, please. Go to YouTube. Even if you don't watch us, you just listen. Go to youtube.com/Sexytime podcast. Sorry.
Yep. Sexytime podcast. We got it.
Thank you. And please subscribe. Just you can turn off notifications if you don't want to watch us live and you just want to listen. But we really do need those subscribers. We would really appreciate it out there if you're listening.
Yeah, spread the word.
This little YouTube subscribe.
Spread the word. Just click. We'd really appreciate it. It'd be awesome. So, so here's the poll. What is the sexiest food to eat? We had the options of bananas.
I think the truth is people like food.
Bananas, strawberries, chocolate, and whipped cream. We have a 3-way tie, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. I'm sad though, because okay, so here's the top 3. Bananas, whipped cream, and chocolate come in tied at top at 27% each. 27% each.
Yeah.
Strawberries coming in at 18%. Just 9% off. But I'm sad because I guess I was one of the few who voted strawberries because that's what I picked. So I like the
You know what this
the sexy
means?
lips on a strawberry. This is me.
I think officially, well, if you put a banana with 2 strawberries and then whipped cream, right?
Oh,
You get like a dick, right?
yeah.
You get the balls and the penis and the cream, all right?
You could get a face from it too, actually. So you could put 2 together and like one's a dick and one's the face
It's
going
a good
on
thing
it.
we picked one of those for our logo, huh?
Yeah, I know. I thought for a second it might sway all of us to pick bananas, but it didn't. It was equally tied with the chocolate and whipped cream. But I actually went strawberries. I don't know. What do you mind disclosing your vote, Alice?
What did I pick?
I know they're all so
whipped
good.
cream.
Whipped cream?
I picked
Okay.
whipped cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strip
Which
cream.
is, I mean, I think all of
strawberries
these
and
are
whipped cream.
sexy. I love chocolate. Oh.
I know. Strawberries and whipped cream together are pretty nice too. That's why we make a good pair,
Right.
Alice.
I think what we really just need is a banana split.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm fantasizing about food now and sex.
Right.
I hope you are too, and I hope you like it. So thank you everyone who's listening. We're gonna see you next time, wherever you're watching or listening. Until then, stay sexy, stay safe.
And do not get caught in public, dogging or otherwise.
That's right. Oh, thank you everybody. That was fun.
Hey. Yeah. Thanks, Grayson. Good to see you
Yeah.
tonight. We haven't seen you in a
gray
while.
nose.
Nice to see you popping by. Monster J, Ashley Williams.
If you
we
could
got a
have-
koala.
Sorry,
Who else was here?
Oh, we had Shirley in the beginning. We had
Shirley was here at the very
Webster
top.
Games before they went to bed.
Webster Games. That's true.
We had Skeletor say boobs.
Oh yeah, we had Skeletor. We had an unknown named Arabic person
Yeah.
who said
You
hello.
spoke.
That
Oh,
was
they said
what
hello?
they said.
Nice.
Yeah, they said hello, and I said please chat in English so we can understand you. And then we never heard from them again,
I
unfortunately.
saw Mario with Mamma Mia. Wow, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah,
I missed that.
yeah. We did have Mario. That's true.
Wow. Yahoo!
Come up with chocolate all over your face. Oh, that's interesting.
George Costanza. That's what I was thinking of, Monster J. I totally thought of that. He got so addicted to eating while
He was
having
like
sex.
eating sandwiches or something while he was having sex. It was great.
He got addicted to it where he couldn't get off unless he did that to her. It's like I can't get off with this girl unless I eat at the same time. So great.
Did I ever tell you I dated this guy who I don't know why, but there was something about, maybe it was the way he talked and also a little the way he looked that reminded me of George Costanza. And it was so funny because this guy was hot. This guy was like smoking and awesome and funny and sweet. I really loved this guy. He was great. But when I started binge watching Seinfeld, and I was like, why do I suddenly think George is hot? And then I was like, oh, okay.
Or were you just watching the one where he was posing like in his underwear
No,
only on the couch?
No.
When Kramer's taking pictures of him? Oh my god.
Definitely not.
I love Seinfeld. It's so good.
No.
Classic.
I mean, this
The
guy was
best.
in many ways hotter than George Costanza, but
I hope it wasn't his voice that you reminded. No.
yeah, it was just his way.
His way, okay,
He wasn't
cool.
complaining. It was just like his way. I don't know.
Oh my God,
Now
so
I have
great.
a soft spot for George Costanza.
Oh my god. Oh well.
He was eating pastrami in bed. It's true.
What was it? Oh, I love that comment from Grayson where it's
Yes.
like if you cut out the sex, you're not a couple, you're roommates.
Well,
it's like
that's not entirely
kind
true.
of.
There
That's true.
are couples who are romantic, who are asexual, and
They're
they
called
have
married
wonderful
couples.
relationships.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people are partnered and they're together for a long time and they stop having sex, and that's okay. If sex is no longer something you value, that's okay. You can make agreements for it, but you have to make agreements for those things.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back on my soapbox.
You're right though.
It's a real thing.
It's true. Like if I wanted to go and fuck anything that moved, I'd talk to my wife first, of course.
You'd have to.
I still do. It's just
She'd
I'm not going to
kill
do
you.
it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's like but like, it's not like as I just
she'd
said.
kill you. Oh, I don't even know your wife, but I know she'd kill you.
Probably would. Do something. No, I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, like, we're very similar.
I give her permission.
We're very similar, though, right? Like, if she cheats on me, it'd be pretty bad too, because we talk about so much shit.
No,
you know?
you guys are such good people together. I can tell. I haven't even met her. I haven't talked to her. I can tell the way you talk about her. You guys are good. I cannot wait to come to Tokyo and meet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so great.
I would love a
It's gonna
report
be so
card.
great.
It'd be great. It's like, oh, if they're as good as as I represent, because we're chill.
Oh
you know
no,
what I'm
no,
saying?
no, we're not doing any of that because then you're gonna be stressed and you're gonna be trying to perform.
No, I know. I'm not gonna do that. Speaking of dogging, there'll be no dogging. Don't worry.
No,
It's like,
no,
oh,
no.
BK's technique was great here.
How do you know your wife isn't going to be like, BK, I'm taking this woman back to the bedroom. You stay out here.
Oh, that would be interesting. But I highly doubt that. Not because of her, not because of you.
No.
But you're right. I understand.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mhm. That would be fascinating if that happens. I will tell you right away. I'll be like, oh,
Don't
holy
think too hard
shit.
about that, please.
That would be insane.
Don't think too
That
hard
would be
about
crazy.
That,
That would be. It would be like, oh my god. I'd have to ask.
please,
I'd have to
please
ask.
don't think too hard
I have
about
to ask our
that.
community. No, I'm not. But I would have to ask our. It's not so much of imagining it for this one. It's much of like, oh my god, how would I feel about it? What would I do? Right? Like, how would that react? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to write into Sexytime and say like, community Sexytime pillow talk, help me, help me. I don't know what's going on in my feelings.
This is a no. This is not going to
I know it's
happen.
not
I
gonna
would
happen.
not cross that line on you.
I know. Well, I know, no, but like, it wouldn't be like you. It would be more like, whoa, why is this coming out now? And I'd have to talk to my wife about it because I know you would say, no, this is bad.
Of course, I would say no. This is bad.
I know, but I'm saying like it would be like it would still fuck with my mind with my wife. I'm like, oh, where did this come from? You know.
Oh man, there are some lines you just don't cross. You and I are way too close.
Oh, I know,
I would
yeah.
not do that.
I know
to
you wouldn't.
No
do
way.
that. But
No
but
way.
again, but then it would open up obviously with if it was something like that, it would open up possibilities of like saying like, okay, does she want to see another girl then? That's not not someone like close to me like you. But I'm like, oh crap. Well, there's those paths now, and I have to contemplate and talk to her about it there. So it would just be like fucking mind blown, interesting stuff going on. So.
Yeah. Oh hey,
Hmm.
you've gone. Oh no, I'm going off into topics now that have nothing to do with sexy time. So I'm gonna stop now.
Okay.
I was gonna ask about travel stuff to Japan.
Oh, no problem. We can do that in pillow talk and
See,
stuff.
this is how close we are. You like we chat about everything.
Yeah.
I have no idea. He's like my brother at this point.
Yeah, you're like my sister
Cousin?
too. Cousin?
Fun cousin.
I like
I
sisters,
don't know.
but I don't really have a close cousin. Do you?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
one.
you're so lucky.
Yeah. I mean, technically, we're not actually related. She's my cousin's half sister.
Okay.
So her father was never actually blood related to me. He was married to my aunt, and they got divorced.
Quasi cousin. Still close. Still a
she's,
cousin.
Yeah, but we're very close. She's one of my best
Siblings
friends,
of a cousin,
so-
same thing. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Grayson, I know. I'm like recording with my phone. I have to memorize. Yeah, I have to remember that. This is the day that everything changed.
Right? Oh man, that would be no.
Everything changed. And don't worry, Alice said no, but it still changed everything for me in my relationship with my wife. So I was like, yeah, this was Alice was so sexually potent that it changed.
I mean,
me
I'd
in
be
my-
honored.
Yeah,
Don't get me
I know,
wrong.
right? It's like so sexually potent that I'm gonna have to readjust my relationship with my wife a bit.
I'm really not. Don't worry. It's
I
it's
know.
okay.
It is gonna be
I
fun.
I promise I'm not walking oysters.
But yeah, we'll plan the Japan trip with a bunch of, we'll think about how we can get to love hotels and all that stuff. Love hotels.
We'll
are
have to
famous for
film
that.
two sexy times while I'm there.
Oh, that would be good. That would be good. All right, well, we'll talk about this in Pillow Talk and privately or like DM on Discord. So again, if you want to join that, just come to
Coming
patreon.com
soon.
/Sextime Podcast.
Coming soon.
And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all of the support. Patreons and non, everyone around here. We love you.
Yeah. We really fucking love you guys.
Oh, is it next week? I might as well say it. Thursday or Tuesday,
Next
right?
week is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Okay, good. Got a short week, everybody. Yeah, Tuesday's
Short week
coming
for
up.
me.
Let's go.
I gotta go back to work.
Well, I do feel honored, and we all should thank Alice for making Sexy Time the thing she goes to when she's off work. So
It is.
Fucking love you guys.
It is.
Let's go.
I coach, I sing, I sexy time, I fly. Woo!
You're a Renaissance woman. That's what they call it? A Renaissance man? I can't remember. Is that what they say?
Quit you all. I can't quit you all.
All right, we got close. We'll see you in Pillow Talk in about 5 or so. You know, we can take a little bathroom break and be back soon. So until Tuesday, stay sexy, stay safe.
Good luck dogging, but don't get caught in public. Okay, it was terrible. We need you for later.
Hello, I'm Michael Caine. Let's let the truth be heard.
Now
and we love you all.
off.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Ta-ta now.
Bye.
Ta-ta. Ta-ta. And
Have fun with your chocolate bananas.
scene.
say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run, no rush. You're my caffeine in the morning. Got me feeling like I'm on top of the world. We don't try to impress. Baby, we're not like the rest, oh. Just sitting on the steps outside. This stillness frees our mind. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run. You're my caffeine in the morning. Got me feeling like I'm on top of the world. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run. You're my caffeine in the morning.